Today we'll be installing the Flatline Van Co. Sprinter Ceiling Structure Kit. This specific video will show the process for a 170-inch wheelbase model. It can be fairly involved installation and might help to have an extra hand to hold things in place. The whole process should take around 2 hours. Begin by unpacking all of the contents of the boxes and laying them out so that you have easy access to all the items needed for the installation, and print out the installation guide if you need it. First up, if you haven't already, remove items like the foam blocks on the B-pillars, wall panels, wire cover track, and interior lights. If your van has a light above the sliding door, use a 10mm wrench or socket to remove it too. Once that light is out, go ahead and reinstall the nuts from the sliding door light and the door check so they don't get lost. Now let's prep the ceiling panels. Take the clip nuts and slide them onto the end tabs of each ceiling panel. Push them on until they snap into place and can move side to side in the slot. Make sure the barrel of the clip nut is facing toward the inside of the panel. Next, grab the passenger side roof brackets. Slide a clip nut onto each flange, again pushing it on until it snaps into place and can slide side to side. The barrel should be facing upward toward the raised center section. Repeat this for all of the passenger roof brackets. Attach the passenger roof brackets to the passenger front panel using the countersunk screws. Tighten them just until snug. You want the brackets to still be able to slide side to side. Make sure the notch in the center section is facing toward the front flange of the panel. Before installing the panels, we'll add the rubber trim. On the driver front panel, install a 6-inch section of rubber trim on the right side, starting at the rear flange. On the driver rear panel, install rubber trim along the full length of the left side. On the passenger rear panel, install rubber trim along the full length of the right side. Now we're ready to start hanging panels. Place the driver front panel into the van and clamp it in place. Position it so the short flat section sits against the ceiling crossmember along the B-pillar, and the rear flange sits against the inner structure of the van. You can help line it up by matching the flange profile to the square cutouts in the van's inner structure. The tab on the short flat section, with the 2 holes, should land roughly centered on the ceiling crossbars. Once everything looks good, adjust your clamps until the panel is held firmly in position. Next, install the driver rear panel and clamp it in place. This panel should line up cleanly with the front panel, with little to no gap along the sides. You may need to slide it slightly forward or backward to make sure all of the upper mounting holes line up with the ceiling crossbars. Once it's aligned, secure it with clamps. With both driver side panels positioned, drill out all of the mounting holes using the provided 3/16 drill bit. Remove the panels and coat all drilled holes with rust preventative paint. Once the paint is dry, reinstall the panels and rivet them to the van, hitting every mounting hole. Now we'll install the driver side brackets. Attach the driver front bracket to the driver front panel using a 1/4 button head screw and flat washer. Slide the bracket into position so the flange sits flat against the van's crossmember. Drill the mounting holes to secure it. Attach the driver rear bracket to the driver front panel using the same hardware. Position it so the flange sits flat against the van above the cutout. Then drill and rivet it into place. You should have rivets in place at the following mounting points as shown here. Now we'll repeat the process on the passenger side. Place the passenger front panel into position, following the same steps used for the driver side. Take note of the ceiling crossmember holes that align with the slots in the passenger roof brackets. Drill these holes using a 25/64 drill bit, then coat them with rust preventative paint. Install the 1/4 rivet nuts into the newly drilled holes. A pneumatic or electric rivet nut tool makes this much easier, but a manual tool will work if you've got enough clearance. Once the rivet nuts are installed, attach the passenger front panel to the ceiling crossmembers using 1/4 by 3/4 inch button head screws and washers. Tighten them until snug, but leave them loose enough so the panel can still slide within the bracket slots. Now place the passenger rear panel into position and clamp it in place. Just like before, make sure it lines up with the front panel and that there are minimal gaps along the sides. Adjust as needed so the upper mounting holes line up with the ceiling crossbars. Once everything is aligned, fully tighten the button head screws on the passenger front panel. Drill out the remaining mounting holes using the provided 3/16 drill bit, then rivet the passenger panels to the van. Finally, install the passenger front and passenger rear brackets by repeating the same bracket installation steps you used on the driver side. And that wraps it up. Now that your ceiling structure kit is installed, you have more surface area to mount upper cabinets, panels, or anything else to your van's ceiling. Feel free to reach out to our support team for any product questions, and thanks for watching.